Hi, Aiden. Thanks for coming in today.
No problem. Thanks for having me.
Before we get started, I wanted to go over a few things. Everything that we talk about is confidential. The only time I have to break confidentiality is in a case of child abuse, elder abuse, or abuse of a disabled person. If I have to break confidentiality, I'm going to let you know what's going on, and I'm going to ask that you're part of that process. Do you have any questions about that?
No,
Okay.
sounds good.
If you should become suicidal, or I'm worried that you're going to hurt yourself or somebody else, I don't want that to happen. I'm going to keep you safe. We're going to work together to come up with a plan to get you through that crisis. Again, I'm going to talk to you about my concerns, and you and I are going to work together. It's a collaborative process. Do you have any questions about that?
No, that sounds good.
Okay. So we've gone over informed consent. What are your expectations of therapy?
Well, I definitely want to be able to address some specific concerns I have. Like, I have been missing a lot of things in my life. Like, I've been missing work, um, unable to get out of bed in the morning, and generally just feeling blah.
Okay. Um, with therapy, it's a collaborative process. And the things that I expect for you is that you're going to arrive to our appointments on time. And what you can expect to me is the same. I will be here at our appointments on time. I will give you my undivided attention while we're in session.
Okay.
And I will also be transparent with you and let you know what's going on at every step of the way.
Awesome.
Okay.
Awesome.
So what are you hoping to get out of therapy? Let's say if therapy works, how is your life going to be different?
Um, well, I want to feel better on a day-to-day basis. I want to feel I want to like myself again. Been feeling pretty down, pretty like I feel like I've kind of let down my family because they have a lot of expectations for me.
Okay. Have you heard the term cognitive behavioral therapy or CBT before? Okay. So cognitive behavioral therapy or CBT is a type of therapy that refers to the thought mood patterns and how that enforces our behavior. Cognitive means the mental processes involved in knowing, learning, thinking, and understanding things. And then the behavior part is the behavior. So the cognitive model is just one way how we explain how thoughts, feelings, and behaviors are connected. Most people believe that a situation can cause you to feel a certain way, but the cognitive model says that the thoughts we have about that situation are what make us feel a certain way. So, an example, people who are depressed or anxious tend to have thought patterns that reinforce those negative cycles. In the cognitive parts of CBT, you're going to learn specific skills. We'll work together. It's going to help you change your mood by challenging the way you think about certain situations. Okay. Do you have any questions?
Well, I want to know how to apply that. You know,
Yeah. We're going to learn how to apply that.
great.
A key tool that we use in cognitive behavior therapy that's going to help you examine the relationship between your thoughts and your feelings is called the thought record. And we're going to discuss that in more detail. But cognitive behavioral therapy does involve you doing work outside of therapy. So therapy doesn't just take place, once a week or once every couple of weeks in your therapist's office. It's something that you do every day. So you'll be learning skills here with me. You'll be applying those skills outside of here, and then we'll talk about it when we come back to session, and you'll learn, more skills. Okay.
Okay.
The behavior aspect of CBT addresses how behaviors affect or influence your mood. So we're going to work together simply to increase behaviors that help you feel better and decrease behaviors that are associated with negative mood. Does that make sense?
Yep, sounds good.
Okay. So I'm going to show you an example of how this is all associated. And we're going to take exercise, right?
Okay.
So let's say you got up this morning at 6 o'clock and you went running. And then you have the thought, I had a productive day, or I'm going to have a productive day because I went running. So I am productive. So this is the thought.
Mm-hmm.
And the situation is what?
Went running.
Yeah, exercise. And what do you think the feeling is when you go running in the morning? You feel like you've already gotten that out of the way. You're going to have a productive day.
Happy.
How do you feel? You feel happy, maybe satisfied. So, as depicted here, changing behaviors can change your thoughts and your feelings. The relationship between behaviors, thoughts, and feelings in CBT is explained by social learning theory. So this basically suggests the likelihood of a behavior is determined by its consequences. If there are positive consequences from the behavior, you're more likely to continue it. If there are negative consequences from the behavior, you're less likely to continue it. So we know that that is really a simple overview, and we do a lot of we engage in a lot of negative behaviors because we do get an initial reward. So it's not, there's a lot of complexities there that we'll talk about in future sessions. Do you have any questions?
Yeah, I mean, that kind of gets into the question I was going to ask, if positive behaviors, are more likely to occur because they have positive outcomes. How come I don't exercise?
So there are two behaviors that we really target in CBT: avoidance and escape behaviors. So avoidance is when you avoid something because it causes distress or it might be difficult. Let's say if you are afraid of crowds or you don't like large crowds, and so you avoid going to school. So that's an avoidance behavior.
Mm-hmm.
Escape serves a similar function. It is getting us out of a distressful situation in the moment. So the short-term benefit might be there because you feel better, but then the long-term consequence is negative because you get your diploma.
Okay.
So an escape behavior would be leaving class because of anxiety over like the teacher saying there's a test that day.
Mm-hmm.
Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
So avoidance and escape behaviors have a positive payoff in the immediate, is that it immediately makes you feel better.
Mm-hmm.
That's the same with substance use.
Yep.
When you're struggling, depression, anxiety, stress, you immediately feel better. Substance use is an escape or an avoidance behavior.
Yeah.
Because you're avoiding feeling a certain way, but then that has negative consequences. So that's when I said it gets a little complicated. It's not just, positive behaviors, positive feelings, negative behaviors, negative feelings. There's a lot more complexity to that.
Makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah.